I need to go ahead and do better. And that is literally the opposite of the personality of our current president. And that's the personality that he shares with a lot of these voters. They can do no wrong. Everything that they think is truth. This guy's a Christian, even though he could care less. It's crazy. Just everything that goes into their way of thinking, from religion to politics, does not add up with reality. And that's the issue that we have as a society. And that's why Elon Musk basically bought that election with misinformation, because everything that he was saying, or that he was putting out into the open, was not true. Going back to what you were saying about the whole DEI thing, people want to use these alternative facts, which is basically another word for lies, to push their narrative. And after they go through all that, they suffer the consequences, and then they want to say, well, it wasn't because of what I did. It wasn't because of XYZ. So,
Yeah, I feel like, and again, I don't want to come off as someone who is Donald Trump bashing, or Elon Musk bashing, or Republican bashing, or even MAGA bashing.
yeah.
Because, for me, that's not what it's about. And when I sit here and have these conversations, I'm speaking as just another citizen of the United States. Um, this is not my primary vocation.
Yeah.
So I'm having a discussion with you, and hopefully with your listeners and your viewers. And if they were in the room with us, I would hope to be able to have the same conversation. I don't think it is, it's human to fear what you don't understand. And I think that the real shame is people have been misinformed to the point where um, they're fearing something that is not really their foe.
Yeah.
It's a made up foe. It's made up opposition. And I think that if, as a nation, we really are able to recenter ourselves and say, hey, this is what I know to be true. This is what I can find receipts for. This is some, gassy stuff that if you blow at it'll disappear. And then really try and figure out, where we are. I have no illusions about this being a country that every time I wake up and every time I read something, every time I hear something, it's going to be to my liking. Like, how silly is that? And it probably would be, I'm just, in my own humility, probably would be a little bit jacked up if it was that kind of country. Like a country that, for example, wants to pretend like calories don't exist. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It could be anything, but it's difficult for me to watch a group of people push a narrative saying that another group of people is, this group is substandard intellectually and, physically and morally and everything else. And you're pushing the crap out of this narrative. Meanwhile, you are getting blasted in the face with facts that completely, completely take away any, what am I trying to say? These facts are flying in the face of your beliefs.
Right. Yep.
And even when you talk about, if you want to talk about Christianity, which I try not to talk about because I'm not, a Bible scholar, admittedly. However, from what I do know from the Bible, even if you only focus on the 10 Commandments, you don't want to play tit for tat with that right now.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Adultery and coveting and gluttony, and like you could go on and on, but what I'm saying is, you take a family that for 8 years was really treated poorly in the media and poorly in, at certain barbershops and whatever, because you had a man who was a scholar. Whatever else you want to say about this person, they were a scholar and they understood government. I'm not saying politics. I'm just saying government.
Mm-hmm.
You understand like where your country is. juxtaposed to other countries, other nations, and you know the history of how we got where we are. Who happened to be married to a scholar, his baby mama. He actually married her before they had babies. And then they had babies, and then they were still married, and then they raised their family. They have one nuclear family. You don't have to keep checking people's last name like, but this is who, whatever. So, again, I am not trying to. I'm human, and I come from a very long line of human people. What I'm saying is, your facts are jacked up anytime you could look at that family and say, oh, they weren't really Christian. And they hate the American people. And then you drag out another family from the gutter, which will remain nameless, but if you paying any attention at all, you know who it is. In fact, I have to put families behind that because, like, again, if you want to play, if you want to play chess, do not come at me with checkers. Don't bring the checkerboard and don't bring the checker pieces if you want to play chess. If you don't know how to play chess or you're not very good at that, then stay home. Mm-hmm. But to come out and constantly insult, what do they call it? Poking the bear, insult people's intelligence, insult their hard work, and to what end? You still can't afford eggs, and I don't like eggs. So who's really ahead?
Oh, that's a classic line right there. I think that's the perfect place to end it, and it kind of gives the audience food for thought. I want to thank y'all for watching another episode of I Only Ask Because, and I'll catch you on the next one.